back again with another video, and this time around I decided I better do a voiceover or else it's going to take too long. So I'm starting off with a 4 by 4.5 inch panel of Strathmore watercolor paper, which is what I prefer, and I'm going to do some warmer colors. So I'm starting off with the fossilized amber yellow color in the new Distress Oxide Ink, and this time I am sponging it on, and I'm doing just kind of a random some spots lighter, some spots darker patterning, but boy, it is so easy to ink blend. It just goes on like butter and it is nice. So now I'm reaching for spiced marmalade and I'm getting it wet, and I'm going to go back to the familiar technique of just smushing some onto my craft mat, getting it damp, and picking it up onto the panel in just random spots. So you can see that I'm drying, adding a little more water sometimes, dipping in. I want to preserve a lot of that yellow, so I'm trying to keep that in mind as I work. So now I have to clean up my mat, and this time I'm turning to the fired brick, which is a beautiful dark red, and I went ahead and blotted. Some of it got a little splotchy, kind of like pinprick splotches, which I didn't care for, so I'm picking that up with my paper towel and then drying the rest. And it's really nice because the fired brick in particular really shows up that oxidation. And right there, I'm pointing out just how oxidized that color can look. It just looks like old rusty metal. It's wonderful. So it got a little dark there, so I went ahead and picked up some of the color. And now I'm going to put in just a little bit of Vintage Photo, which is a nice brown. And I want to be careful with this because I really don't want to let the brown overpower anything. So I'm really trying to be careful with it. I liked that last little dip. That turned out nice. So there we go, clean that off. And then I wanted to add just a little bit more interest. So I'm reaching for the big bottle, my big squirt bottle, because I can get bigger splotches of water. And you can see how pretty that is. It immediately brings the color to the surface. It's very pretty when it's wet. Now you can see that it dried back again, and there's those splotches on there. So I really like the way that looked. And I'm going to create another panel. This time I'm using the fired brick again, and I am actually going to color the entire piece. It's just another 4 by 4.5 inch piece of the same watercolor paper, and I'm just sponging on that fired brick to create just a solid colored background. And again, I mean, this is so beautiful, and look how quick you get just beautiful, intense, perfect coverage. I just absolutely love it. So again, I'm cleaning off that red before I come back in with the Vintage Photo. And again, I'm just going to kind of go around the edges. I end up using a little more than I had planned, but that's okay. It's a soft enough brown where it doesn't ruin anything. Now you can see that I was trying to keep my fingerprints off the panel, and I put my rag down and it was damp and lifted up the color. So here I fixed that with just a little more of the fired brick. So it was easy enough to fix that little accident. And one more cleaning. There are the two panels together, which look very pretty. Now, I decided that I'm going to do some leaves. So I reached for this fabulous die, and it's called the Lorelei Leaf from Poppy Stamps. And it's a fabulous die that I've used many times. This is the first time I'm using it in a video, but I've made a lot of projects in the past with it. So now I am going to use, I cut some dark brown leaves, as well as cutting up that distress panel that we just made. And I am using the dark brown, which is hot fudge, sorry, it's hot fudge cardstock from My Favorite Things, and I'm using it like it's a shadow. So I am gluing the Distress Oxide leaves on top of the hot fudge leaves and just a little bit offset. And I'm just using my Zig two-way glue pen to do this. There's many ways that you could attach the two of them together, but I loved the precise application with that nice bullet tip glue pen. Oops, little camera problem. Anyway, so now I am switching over to my Nuvo glue pen, which is a very nice glue pen, and it has a lovely chiseled tip. So it's very nice to work with, and it dries quickly, and it's becoming one of my new favorite go-to glue pens. So what I'm planning is just, I'm gonna put as many leaves on this panel that will fit. So I'm not following any design or anything else. I am just going to load it up however I can. So I'm trying to decide what looks better. And I decide I'm going to use this, but I'm actually going to clip it off. One of those leaves, as you can see on that die, excuse me, one of the leaves has been cut off already. So I'm just going to put that across the top of the panel and then lay the rest in. And then it's a thin enough, those little stems are thin enough where you can manipulate those leaves and kind of turn them and twist them just a little bit. They have that flexibility. So I thought I might add that little one, but I didn't. And now I can take the final grouping, and I'll have some overhang, but I'll just trim that off. So I'm going to attach that down. And of course I'm holding it and letting it set before I move on. And here I go, trimming off the excess. And now I have cut a piece of that same hot fudge cardstock, and it's just 1/8 of an inch bigger than my other panel. So it's 4 1/8 by 4 5/8 is what I cut it to. So anyway, I hope you had fun with this one. This is just one small example of what you can do also with those beautiful Distress Oxide panels that you create. So don't be afraid to die cut them, because look how pretty that is. One of my favorite things to do is make combinations of greens and yellows, and then I cut larger leaves out of them, and that's a really pretty look. So I'm sure I'll be doing that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. And if you like this video, please click like, and if you want to become a subscriber, that would be awesome. And then that way you get to see all my new videos as soon as they come out. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.